Hey, welcome back to Chris Comments. It is April 14th, Thursday. Uh, just a reminder, yes, I did get a haircut. I cut it every time it grows 2 feet long, and I donated to Wigs for Kids, the hair place that lets the patients of whatever condition or sickness that they have get first dibs on the hair for whatever wig that they want. And then if they don't want it, then the hair goes onto the wig rack for the general public. But the patients get it first. The kids with cancer or whatever it is that they have, they get first dibs on the hair. Wigs for Kids. If you have long hair, cut it no less than 10 inches. I grow mine 2 feet. I grow mine 2 feet long, and then I cut it. So yeah, this isn't a new guy. This is the same guy, still wearing, the same ugly mug. But now moving on. In New York, a gunman who shot up a subway got apprehended. Good job to New Yorkers and the New York police and everybody in Philadelphia that wound up making all the calls and ratting him out, and or just plain witnessing his location and all this stuff, testifying as a witness. Good job to everybody. Very happy for you. Great teamwork in heroism up there from New York to Philadelphia. Congratulations. Something that's just not happening down here in Texas. And I'm going to start with a small little thing, but apparently it is big news. And for the record, it is dark outside. I'm actually doing this at 3 something in the morning, close to 4 in the morning right now. Just trying it on for size before I start my day. Yeah, my sleeping hours also got a little out of whack, so please pardon the yawning that I do as we go on. Here in Texas, Beto O'Rourke, the guy that's supposed to be contending against Greg Abbott, this guy is going to lose the election, this coming election. Why? Because he's spitting on President Biden, and all that is going to do is tell the rest of the Texans down here, my fellow Texans, is to stick with whoever the opposition is, even down to a state level. And what I mean by that is Biden didn't want to end Title 42. Title 42 was the excuse to get rid of asylum seekers in the name of preventing COVID spreading, which was stupid. Because at the time that it was around, everybody was being quarantined, so there was no spreading. And then when Biden got into office, everybody was being quarantined and inoculated. So why not throw away Title 42? It served no purpose. But here's Beto O'Rourke going, trying to win the hearts of everybody in Texas, saying, no, Biden shouldn't have done that. He should have had a better plan. Okay. He's not stating a plan himself, which is another reason why Beto's going to lose Texas state governor. I wish I had known that he was saying this. Otherwise, I wouldn't have voted for him. I would have demanded somebody else. I wouldn't have voted for him in the preliminaries or whatever it was. He's saying Biden doesn't do enough, despite the fact that more than 600 law enforcement officers will be added to our borders, and that Alejandro Mayorkas is still in charge of proper vaccination protocols. Okay, he's still getting everybody inoculated. They're getting quarantined, they're getting inoculated. I stated this many times on previous posts on how they're working and how they're keeping us safe from COVID. Beto and Biden, what they need to do is live up to all the things safety at or along the border, specifically with refugee facilities. And you all know how I feel about this if you've been paying attention to other comments that I've made about the crimes committed at these facilities by people that are supposed to be in charge of taking care of them while crime is being committed under their noses. I've already given the numbers. I've already labeled a few crimes, and it ranges from abuse to neglect to starvation to rape by our own faculty members. So if you don't remember that, that's what it was. If you hadn't gotten a chance to review that, to listen to every single fact that I pointed out and every crime in detail and every along the timelines of these border crises, head on back to those episodes. Moving on, speaking of crimes and fraud, okay, Greg Abbott's border inspections causes economic damage. Okay, the protests come in response to Abbott ordering secondary inspections of cargo trucks that have already been reviewed by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Okay, they've already been surveyed and looked at and examined and searched and checked, and then they have to go deal with state troopers who are doing their inspections, which it doesn't have, they're not even looking inside the cargo trucks. They're checking tires. Okay, they're checking tires and seeing if there's any smoke coming out of their exhausts and stuff, which is just downright stupid. They're doing safety inspections when they're supposed to be state troopers, which is a law enforcement thing. They're supposed to be tracking down people who are committing crimes, not telling truckers, shaking their finger at truckers saying you need to put, one of your tires is deflated. You see what I'm saying? And I've tackled this subject before also, at how Greg Abbott misuses law enforcement into doing everything except law enforcement, which is how more criminals are getting by. This governor needs to go. He's just this douchebag doofus of a governor. But what does this have to do with the economic damage? That's a good point. 2,800 plus stakeholders, they're profiting off of this $1.6 trillion a year business. They're profiting off of 1.2 billion tons of freight that go across this border from Mexico and from Canada and all this other stuff. But mostly here, I'm just sticking here to Texas, okay? I'm just pointing out the bullshit that's going on in my state. You guys point out the bullshit that's going on in yours. I'll listen to you. If you can point out the horse shit with actual facts, you got a listener out of this one. Okay? It's estimated $615 billion a year just in Texas alone. Okay? It's a $700 billion a year business across all 4 states in the Southwest and across all of Canada. Okay? $700 billion, well, across Canada, that also includes up to 1.6 trillion, okay? Not including Canada, just down here in the 4 states alone, it's about $700 billion worth of profits to be made. 600 of that comes out of Texas. 600 billion, okay? That's some serious money. There's over 6,600 trucking companies here. 66,000. I just misread that. 66,000 trucking companies involving just under 400,000 employees. Just out of this industry, just in this state alone. Okay? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of employees being affected. How is Greg Abbott doing it? Well, he's doing it with this stupid border inspection thing. Something where he's got state troopers checking the tire gauges. Okay? And how none of this makes any sense? Well, if you remember any of my other posts, There's this one post, or there's quite a few of them, where I've said this rule of thumb. When it comes to politics, it's all about the money. Belief is the tool. Okay? It's all about the money. Belief is the tool. Abbott isn't getting a share out of any of this. If he was, the trucking industry would keep on moving without any problems. Okay? Abbott isn't getting anything out of this. So he can afford to do that. You know? He can afford to do that, and he can claim that if this stuff is to be unsolved, then Biden needs to do his job. That's what he's been saying lately. Okay? Here's the thing. Biden is not in charge of the trucking industry. He's in charge of the border. And the only thing that Greg Abbott wants is a border wall, which has nothing to do with the trucking industry. Okay? He's willing to hurt our economy to demand more finances for the border wall, which, let's just be honest, he doesn't want Biden to come down here. The governor doesn't want the president to actually come down here and start running shit. No, the only thing that he wants to do is keep on suing and fining and legal fees and all this other crap at the Biden administration to have more money come in so he can build this supposed border wall, which he's not building. As I stated in one of the previous ones, he's doing stupid stuff like re-barb wiring a couple of ranches and then putting these $9 no trespassing signs attached to them. These little $9, $10 signs coming out of our hardware stores. Okay? And he's doing that. By the end of this year, if he keeps that up and if he can keep the money coming in, he'll be spending about $3 billion by the end of this year doing that. Little touch-ups here and there. Supposedly in an effort to restore billions and billions and billions of damages in my all across the Lone Star State. You know. Now I've tackled that before and I've said it, so I'm not going to be getting any more elaborate in that. But that's plain and simple. To dumb it down, that's all that he's doing. He's causing this havoc here at the border. He's causing all the clog ups, and he's saying, well, where's Biden? You understand? It's the same bullshit that he's been doing. It's the same BS that's being done in other states. I remember when a hurricane took over New Jersey, knocked over New Jersey, and Governor Chris Christie, you know, everybody turned to him and said, how are you going to repair it? And the only thing he could say is, well, where's Obama? Where's Obama? I need funding. I need help. I need all this and I need that. Where's Obama? And he left New Jersey in tatters. Eventually, New Jersey wound up picking itself up again. But it wasn't with the help of Chris Christie. Far from it. Now, same scenario just over here in Texas concerning the border and our truck stops. Or he's thrown state troopers who were supposed to be catching criminals. He's put state troopers at the border to check tires and make sure that their radiator fluid is in check. You see the bullshit. You see the BS. It's all about the money. And here's the belief is the tool. The belief is to everybody that can't see his BS and all the BS crap that he's doing. They literally believe that they're safer now. They literally believe that the trafficked people that are getting trafficked right as we speak are not being trafficked across the border because at a truck stop, Biden has state troopers checking tire gauges, checking radiation fluid. And you know, it's amazing too. I mean, I am so surprised there are not snake oil salesmen down here. I am still surprised that there aren't men who claim to be in touch with God and can heal all our wounds. You know, I mean, we got Joel Osteen over at Houston. You know, I guess he's the top dog right now. But I'm surprised that there's no other gimmicks coming down here making these claims, because I honestly believe they'd be making a killing. They'd be banking big. You know, we've got almost the majority of Texas following Greg Abbott into thinking that human trafficking has stopped because he put state troopers at border stops to check tire gauges on trucks after Border Protection had already examined and checked out the entire vehicle and inside the cargo stuff. He's got people believing that they're safer because he's got state troopers looking at radiator fluid, making sure that all the fluids and the oil check and all this stuff checks out like mechanics. You know, and the majority of my state literally believes they're safer. You know, it's a wonder how this place isn't known, how this place doesn't have so many con artists come down here. Because people believe that they're safer. And it's at the cost of our tax-paying dollars. And it's at the cost of federal income and all this good stuff, federal spending. Something that Biden wanted was $550 billion for the nation. And here's Greg Abbott suing and fining and legal fees and all this stuff for a program for a border wall and so-called property repairs, which again, all he's doing is just re-barbed wiring a couple of ranches and posting no trespassing sign, $9, $8 trespassing signs. And he's almost getting $3 billion by the end of this year. It's projected to be $3 billion plus by the end of this year. He said all he needed was $2 billion to repair and restore our state. And yet not only is he not doing that, you know, he's still collecting and now burdening the rest of us with this truck stop problem at the border. The truck stop problem at the border, okay, if he hadn't interfered with it, we would still be making $24 million per hour just off of Texas and Mexico alone. It's $24 million per hour that Texas banks and is benefited throughout the rest of the nation. Okay? $24 billion an hour. You know, which makes sense. I mean, $600 billion a year. Oh, excuse me, $24 million an hour, which makes sense given that we're making $600 billion per year. And he's put a stop to this since Monday. Today's Thursday. And according to what the news is lately saying, he's easing the secondary inspections out of one truck stop area. Okay? It's a 9-mile truck stop area. And it's a border stop. And he's easing the thing. I guess it means that they're not going to be popping the hood to check all the fluids. They're just going to check the tires. Our state troopers, instead of actually capturing criminals. Okay, I guess, but I don't know what it is. I don't know the details yet. That's brand new news that he's easing the secondary inspections out of one truck stop. It's all about the money. Belief is the tool. Okay, now everybody else out there, well, I only believe in God. I believe in Jesus, and I believe He's doing the way of God and Jesus. And all this other shit. Okay, now let me calm down. Sorry. I'm going to calm down. And I'm going to say, you're wrong. You're wrong. Because you want to talk belief as far as religion goes, the belief in God and Jesus. Well, here's some more news for you. This coming weekend is Easter, and a lot of shelves are going to be empty, particularly food that we use to make and as part of our ceremonial, especially Catholics like myself, in honoring the resurrection of Christ. Okay? And we're going to be lacked of everything Easter, even down to the little Easter eggs representing a rebirth in a kid fashion, in a cute little kid fashion, all the way up to the food that we adults eat, not just the weenies for the kids, but I'm talking about the brisket and all that good stuff, the taquerillos that we do here, we Latinos do down here in Texas. Everybody's gonna, and it's not just here. Remember, this is the benefit for the nation, the $24 million per hour, of all that product. It is 1.2 billion tons of freight, and it's all being put to a halt. Food in particular is spoiling because they're all still stuck in those refrigeration trucks that are running out of gas while sitting in line since Monday. It's Thursday now. They've been sitting there since Monday. So you want to talk belief in God and belief in Jesus. Okay, well, here's some news for you on that religious level. Greg Abbott is anti-Easter. He's making us all suffer around the time that we're supposed to be rejoicing our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ's resurrection. Yeah. Greg Abbott is anti-Christ. How's that for a religious belief? And the proof is in the pudding. He's letting all our food rot. He's letting all our food spoil. He's not letting the country benefit. He certainly isn't letting Texas benefit. One of the most holiest of holy lands. I mean, there's no proof of that. God never actually testified, but the proof is in the pudding. Without somebody like Greg Abbott messing everything up, the graciousness of the Lone Star State is proven to be shown by $24 million per hour just off of our relations with business relations with Mexico. All right, without Greg Abbott, this state would be benefiting $24 million per hour, which would then in turn be a benefit for the rest of the nation. And Texas has always been able to give more than it's ever needed to take from the government or from America. That's what makes us Lone Star State. That's what makes us proud to say we're a Lone Star State, capable of being our own country if we wanted to. And believe me, if we wanted to, we would. But, don't say but, however, yeah, without Greg Abbott interfering with any of this, we would actually be a very gracious state, very easily mistakable to be as gifted by God, very easily mistakenly. I mean, don't get me wrong, the promised land is over there. It's Israel. Yeah, we got it. But we come a very close second. I'll tell you what. Yeah, it's all about the money. Belief is the tool. Belief is the tool. Greg Abbott is ruining our economy, and for some oddball reason, my fellow Lone Star residences, whether it be actual born and raised down here or now the migrated from other states and other countries, because San Antonio alone has now got 2 million plus in population count, and we like to get down, but we don't breed that much. We don't breed that fast. We're not that big of breeders. Yeah, so everybody that's down here right now, you know, I'm growing up to see where we were a standalone country if we wanted to be, now filled with migrants from other states and other countries that are literally believing the BS that our current governor is doing. You know, and he's profiting big time off of this, and he's ruining any other competition or anything that he feels threatened by. It's obvious he's not banking out of the trade organization, so he feels entitled to go ahead and hurt that industry economically. And this is the proof. And he's doing it at such a horrific time before Easter Sunday. By the time our day of rejoicing, our Lord and Savior's resurrection comes, we're not going to have anything on our shelves to celebrate ceremoniously or even personally or with family with. Plain and simple. So that's pretty much it right now. Beto's being a dumbass. Either that or he's doing this to try to grab more votes from the anti-Biden administration, which I think is just dumb. He should have stuck to his guns. He should have figured out a way to provide the benefit of not having Title 42, a whole lot more clearly, which it's pretty obvious it serves no purpose anymore. We don't need it. Everybody that's coming in is getting inoculated. Shoot, man, I'm a rideshare driver. I've been driving migrants that come here just for a weekend or a whole week, and they're spending a whole crap load of cash shopping and visiting and staying in hotels and all this other crap, spending a hell of a lot more money than I could just to get inoculated with the vaccine, with the antivirus vaccine. And then they're doing it 2 times because it comes in 2 parts. They're doing it twice. You know, Title 42 is a worthless title right now. It's a worthless program right now. We don't need it. Every migrant so far has been inoculated, has been quarantined and inoculated in accordance to how they crossed the border. Once you let Alejandro Mayorkas do his thing, just like the way they were in 2021 before they got bussed back, then judges were denying them denying their visa stays. You know, before Texas messed everything up, those that were following Greg Abbott, we had a great thing. In fact, I mentioned that earlier also. I'm not going to go back to that. The reason why it's all messed up is because everybody that's in the statewide administration under Greg Abbott messed it up. And what we need is for Beto to make that claim and point out every single factual thing that everybody in the state has done to mess this up. Instead of doing this whole business where he's trying to appease people, you know, hey, let's be anti-machine guns, and then turn over to another group of people that say, oh, Title 42 should never have been dropped. Fuck you, Beto. Sorry about that. If there's an editor up there, please omit that last statement. Beto, shut up. Stick to your guns, okay? You're on this side of the political aisle. Stick to it. Stop trying to bounce around and shuffle and all this other stuff. Beto and Biden need to team up. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. For whatever he's doing, just defend everything that he's doing. Stick to your guns and point out the positive of everything. The mask mandates. He saw that more than half of us were inoculated, and the shots were still being given. So he had every reason to lift the mandate. Philadelphia is going to be putting the mandate back into place because the infection spiked again. Back that up. Back up Biden, who says it's okay for a state for a guy to take care of his state. It's okay for a mayor to take care of his state. No differently than the way Biden did with my San Antonio mayor, who kept the closers longer than what any president said. It's okay, go ahead and go back to your businesses. No, our mayor shut everything down until he saw physical proof that we were okay. Then he let businesses get back into opening up. You know, our mayor kept mask mandate no matter what Greg Abbott said. Our mayor was our damn mother. And I know I said that before in previous statements. I'm saying it again. Our mayor took care of us. Our mayor made himself our freaking mom. But guess what? We're doing better now. And we're maintaining. So, you know, screw the opposition. Even if it's coming from somebody like Beto. Beto, he needs to smarten up. Otherwise, what was the point in looking at him? What was the point in running again? He needs to smarten up. He needs to stick to his guns. He needs to stay with what Biden said. Title 42 is not worth it. It's a stupid thing to do. It does nothing but push out asylum seekers, and it does nothing to stop human trafficking. Nothing. Because human traffickers are not going to the government to say, hey, can you inoculate me? No. Asylum seekers are, but freaking human traffickers are not. That's just downright stupid. Oh, speaking of migrants, Abbott buses migrants to D.C. It was like, dude, I can already tell. If they're heading to D.C., they've already been inoculated. They've already gotten visas accepted, you know, because you can't just illegally transport illegal immigrants. And it turns out yesterday, that's true. The bus, the recording of the bus that was going on, somebody was saying that it was a total of 36, 3 dozen. No, it was only 2 dozen. And they were all men. No, there was a couple of women and a couple of families, wives with children. And God knows what they're going to do now that they're here illegally. Well, it turns out they already have families waiting for them. That bus stop where they were all being dropped off was just in front of the registration building where they have to go present themselves and then meet up with their families right there at that building. So it's not like they were just being set loose like mad dogs or some kind of crap like that. Anybody and everybody could see this, including myself. We're gonna bus migrants over there until Biden knows what he's doing. Well, it turns out Biden knew what he's doing. Immigration knows what they're doing. And it was just so obvious. Nobody makes that kind of a big move without covering their tracks. Now the next thing that we're going to expect is Biden to say, see, I sent them over there. And now they're citizens. Done the right way. It was stupid. They were scheduled to be there. There was nothing. It was already done the right way. Morons. And I say morons because every single follower out there, and unfortunately they completely outnumber the rest of us down here in Texas. They completely outnumber us who don't believe this bullshit, who don't buy into Abbott's bull crap. You know, congratulations, you just secured your damn job Beto, you dropped the damn ball. They were scheduled to be there. They were scheduled to be there. And, you know, and it makes sense. He was over there reading. He was over there reading his speech and stuff. I'm gonna send them to D.C. Ha! And he had that big grin like a smartass. Now we know why. Now we know why. They were scheduled to be there. This guy is a doofus. And apparently so is the majority of my Lone Star State. They are